Hey guys, welcome to Own This Life TV. I'm your coach, Robyn Eckersley, and on this channel, you can find insights, tips, and tricks to help you dream up and dive into a life that lights you up. I am uncomfortable, and I'm going to share some embarrassing stories, and I can't wait to share them with you. This is episode 5, and we're going to talk about why other people's opinions matter so much. Let's get to it. So when we're young, we receive a lot of messages and instructions around the appropriate way to behave in society, right? We receive a lot of messages about what we should and shouldn't do. And we start to understand that there are repercussions for not meeting those expectations. And we start to form assumptions and beliefs about the way we're supposed to just show up in the world. And if you're like me, what other people thought and following the rules really mattered. Like, it was a big deal to me. So I want to tell you a quick story. When I was in high school, I think it must have been freshman year, so 9th grade. So I would have been maybe 14 around that time. And I had these awesome pair, I think it was a Christmas gift. I had this awesome pair of Tommy Hilfiger jeans, except they weren't jeans. They were pants, and they were blue velvet, and they were kind of flared at the bottom, and they had a cool like black and white stripe going down the sides. And I thought they looked amazing. I walk into school thinking I'm hot stuff, thinking I look amazing, and I'm loving the pants. They feel amazing. They look amazing. So I'm really into it, right? And then I see my best friend, and she bursts out laughing. She laughed straight at my face because she thought that my pants looked ridiculous. I thought they looked really cool, and she just thought they were the most ridiculous looking things that she had ever seen. And what's even worse, I really loved her sense of style. And to have someone who I really looked up to with fashion, and she was laughing in my face for my outfit, it really stung, and I was super embarrassed, and I made up a ton of excuses like, oh, you know, this was a gift and I had to wear it because my mom made me, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like so embarrassed. But of course I can't go home and change. I didn't even drive at that time. So I'm not gonna go home and change. So I had to sit there for the rest of the day, super embarrassed, thinking that I looked ridiculous because my friend laughed in my face. So that was back in high school. Flash forward to today, I'm wearing this hat for a reason. First of all, it's awesome because it's A.Ham, which is a line from the musical Hamilton. And if you haven't seen Hamilton, go see it. It's amazing. I love hats. Like, I love them. I love big floppy beach hats. I love those cute floppy ones that you wear when you're wine tasting, or at least that's what it looks like in the Instagram photos. I love baseball caps. I love flat brim caps like this. But you rarely will you see me actually wearing a hat outside the house unless I'm in one of those very specific venues. If I'm like randomly wine tasting, if I'm at a music festival, or if I'm at like a sporting event. I love hats, but I never wear them because I'm very concerned about what other people are gonna think. Now, I'm thinking that some people will see, especially this kind of hat, and think one of two things. One, who does she think she is? That's like skater gear, and she's not a skater, and she doesn't know how to skateboard, and she doesn't surf. She's not in that community. Who does she think she is wearing a hat like that? Second, that it's unprofessional, right? And if I'm speaking to you as a professional, as an expert in her field, as someone who runs a business, mentally I'm associating I need to look a certain way so that you will listen to me, so that I have credibility with you. So I get very nervous that me wearing a hat is going to be breaking credibility. It's going to be, conveying the wrong message, and that I'm going to be judged for it. So my struggles around wearing hats and embarrassing stories from when I was a kid, they're not just random insecurities. They're not just innocuous little quirks here and there. They're actually clues into a deeper hardwiring. And that hardwiring is connected to our need to be part of a group. So back in the early days of human beings, we needed to be physically part of a group and accepted as part of a group to ensure our physical survival and perpetuate our genes and keep the human race going and all of that. Now, if you didn't fit in that group, you could be left behind or kicked out, and then you're exposed to the very real dangers of life back then. So this desire for acceptance and this desire to be included as part of a group and not othered and not rejected, it taps back into a deeper sense of survival. It's not just a silly, I want people to like me kind of urge. Because really, we're talking about a sense of belonging and acceptance being tied to our survival and our need to be part of a group to ensure our survival. When people tell you, other people's opinions don't matter, you should just ignore what other people say, that doesn't really work. These deeper associations between other people's expectations and opinions to your need for survival is pretty deeply ingrained, so that advice isn't gonna do the job. It's so deeply ingrained that at this point in my career, I'm still on the fence about wearing hats because it's such a deep sense of concern for me. Whenever I pick out an outfit in the morning and I'm like, man, I really want to wear that hat, if I reach for it, I actually physically feel a little knot forming in my stomach, and the thoughts start, who do I think I am? Am I trying to be super cool? Like, what are you doing? People are going to think you're unprofessional. All those thoughts start racing through my head as I'm standing there in the closet, paralyzed by these anxieties. So it's not just something that's a quick fix overnight. Our need for a sense of belonging is driving a lot of decisions that shape our current life every day. Is it showing up in the type of language that you use? Is it showing up in the type of people that you associate yourself with? Is it showing up in the type of work that you choose to do? There are some people out there, and you might be one of them, who even chooses their partner, chooses their spouse based on what they think other people, maybe their friends and family, are going to think. So people are forming entire lives around this deeper need to meet others' expectations and to make sure that they get acceptance from the people who are most important in their life, because it taps into this deeper sense of needing to survive through being accepted in the group. If you're in a position in which you might be rejected from the group, it is highly uncomfortable, and people would rather stay in situations where they're kind of unhappy, kind of restricted, kind of just not fully fulfilled with the life that they have, over risking being considered as different, being kicked out of their group, whatever that looks like for you. And it ends up that people just move through life living not the life that they want to be living because they're too busy trying to live up to other people's expectations. A lot of folks end up committing their entire lives to fitting in a box that they're too scared to peek out of. I don't want that to be you. If this might be you, if you feel like you're only kind of content with the life that you're living, maybe it's to do with your work, maybe it's your relationship, maybe it's your money, maybe it's how you spend your free time or the people you hang out with. If this is you, give yourself the space for about a couple of minutes a day and allow yourself just to write, journal out, daydream. What would I love instead? If I didn't care about what other people thought of me, if other people had no opinion about what it is I choose to do with my life or who I choose to hang out with, if there were just no expectations from other people, what would I love to do? Who would I love to be? What hats would you love to wear? So yeah, give it some thought, because this is something that is probably running in the background. You might not even be cognizant of it, and you might think, well, life is just supposed to be like this. But do yourself a favor and take a look at what kind of decisions am I making based on a real true desire to belong? Am I making these decisions because I don't want to be rejected? People would think I'm weird if I started living a little bit differently. Look into those disconnects where you're feeling like you have to live in a certain way, instead of you're living in a certain way because you love living in that way. And take note of that. Just start observing where that disconnect is and see where it's showing up in all different areas of your life too. So let me know in the comments, are you living life in accordance with other people's expectations and rules? And let me know what you want to do about it. I wouldn't suggest just saying, I don't care what everyone else thinks and I'm just going to do whatever I want and the rest of them can, do whatever. You can make a transition from living by other people's expectations to putting yourself back in the driver's seat and you making your decisions for yourself without blowing up all of your relationships along the way. Just leave a note in the comments about that if that's you. And if that's a goal of yours, to start living life on your own terms and to get more in control of your own decisions based on what you would love for yourself, come on over to my Facebook group. It's called the Own This Life Goal Getters group. It's totally free. We help each other set goals and get goals, and we would love to have you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might find it useful. Thank you so much for tuning in to Own This Life TV. I'll see you next Thursday with new content to help you dream up and dive into a life that lights you up. I will check you out next time. Bye.